Mathematics, Ordinary Level, Paper 1, 2023, Part 6, the final part of Question Paper 1, 2023. Let's start with question number 32. The points A, B, D, and E lie on a circle with diameter AD. Very important that you underline. It's the diameter, okay, because there's properties involved with the diameter. BE and DA intersects at C. DG is a tangent to the circle at D. That's also very important. Angle BAC is 65. BAC. Angle BCD. ECD is 83. It's always just good to read the question to see if it's indicated on the picture or on the sketch rather, and then start with the question. Okay, so angle DEC, let's just see. Angle DEC, let's just see. DEC. Now, if I look at this, angles in the same segment. Okay, so where will I find this? Let's just start where will I find this. You will also find this in part 1 in geometry, in properties of a circle, properties of circles. And that will be on page 374. But this one, it's angles. You don't have to give the reason. In the same segment. And that's on page 379. Okay. So on page 37, so if I'm going to find this one, DEC, it's meaning that this one and this one, do you see? It's coming from the same points, D, B. So this one and this one, they are both 65. So angle DEC, you can just write 65 degrees. Then angle GDE. Now, it's this angle. Okay, but now first, I must the tangent. So I just want to write here. So on page 387, tangent to a circle and radius. And that's always forming a 90-degree. So let's first find this little green angle there. Now, all the angles of a triangle, the sum of the angles of a triangle, sum of angles of triangle, and that is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so I can say 180 minus the 83 minus the 65, and that is going to give me 32 degrees. So this little green one here is 32 degrees. And now I can say the tangent of a circle. So now I know I'm just going to find angle. Let's just see GDE. And that's going to be 90 degrees minus 32 degrees. And that's going to give me an answer of 58 degrees. And that is how I do this question. Okay, let's go to the examination report first. Almost went to the other one. Okay, so if I go to the report. Okay, so I'm seeing 32. Okay, so this is moderately answered. Common wrong answer was 32, but that was 60. Candidates did not realize the concept of angles in the same segment. basic understanding of angle properties in a circle to be emphasized. So go just through the basics. So that was 65. Then the other one, you could have first just, there's the angles of a triangle, and then subtract from 90, and you got 58 degrees. Okay, so it was not that bad, but I think it was not a very difficult question. I think you can really try to have this kind of questions correct. Okay, let's go to the next one, to the next page. Okay, let's start. Question number 33. The table shows the records of time taken by 20 runners in a fun run. Okay, so if you look at this, this looks like statistics. So where will we find it first? It's in part 2, the thinner book. That's more the one that you will use in grade 11, statistics. And that is where you will find the mean, median, and mode. And that's on page 669. Okay. So they give you the different frequencies, and then they are asking you, in which interval is the medium time? Now it's 20 runners. So how do it's the middle time that I must look. Now, if I look, say for example, I take 20 and I divide it, it's by the 10th one, there, 10, 11th. So if I'm looking at that and I start adding 7 plus 1, it's 8. Do you see? So if I start adding, I get 8. But then as soon as I go to that one, I get 12. So can you see I went over that 10, 11. Okay, so that will be in the interval 50 to 59. Actually not a very difficult question. But again, let's go to the examinations report. And that was question number 33. Okay, poorly answered. Common wrong answer was this, listing all of more than one interval, and some candidates calculate the mean. Majority of learners had an idea of using n plus 1 divide 2, but failed to identify the correct interval. So 20 plus 1 divide by 2, but that would have given you 10.5, but then 10 11th one. Okay, so, but it was 50 to 59. Let's go back to the question paper. Okay, and this is the, oh no, let's go back to the previous one. Yes, there's still one question in this one. Let's quickly do this question on this paper, final question on this paper. I just want to move it a little bit back. Simpson and Sheila take a test. The probability that Simpson will pass is 1/4, and the probability that Sheila will pass is 2/3. Calculate the probability that they will both fail. But let's first find it in the textbook. So if I look in the textbook, I will also, this is also part 2. So it's part 2, and it's probability. And you will find there on page 634. There you will see that as soon as you see the word and, it means multiply. As soon as you see the word or, it means plus. So go there and find that. But first, both will, that's the pass. So I can say the probability that Simpson fail is going to be 1, a certainty, minus 1/4, which is 3/4. And the probability that Sheila fail, not pass, I know what's pass, so 1 minus 2/3, and that's going to be 1/3. And now what's that they will both fail? So it's Sheila and, okay, now both starts with an S. So I'd rather just say, let's just, oh, sorry. Okay, so I think let's just correct this one. Maybe it was incorrect. So can I just write it for you? So 1, so it's 1/3. Okay, that was supposed to stand there. So maybe I did it incorrectly and that's why it came to that. But that's 1 minus 2/3, so 1/3. 1 minus a quarter is 3/4. So both fail. So it's and. So it is 3/4 multiply a third. And you can press it on your calculator. You can say 3 ABC4 multiply 1 ABC3. The calculator will be so nice and it will say 1/4. Okay. Otherwise, you can say 1 times 3. That is going to be 3 and over 12. But that also simplified to 1/4. Okay. And let's just go back to the question paper. And let's just see the report, what they say. It's also, this kind of questions is usually difficult for students. Okay, it's not that is a difficult question, but probability. But they said multiple answers. Candidates struggle to realize that although the two events are independent, they thought to have multiplied the prop that they both will fail the test. Most they ought to have. Yes, most candidates express the given ratio as decimals. Other multiply the given fractions with 100. Some candidates managed to find the fail properties but added them instead of multiplying. Add is for plus. Multiply, multiply. And is for multiply. Teachers are encouraged to put more emphasis on probability-related questions on mutually exclusive and independent events. So that they also accept if you said, because in probability, they're not so strict that you must simplify, because it can sometimes lead to, especially dependent, if you approximate too early, you can make mistakes. Okay, but if I go back to the question paper, I will just show you that, oh, it's not that one. Okay, but if they saw these two values, you know, they gave you 1 mark. And then for the final one, this was just 1 mark. And now we do the final question in this question paper. That's nice. And it's statistics still. Okay, so where will I find it in the textbook? I will still find it in part 2. So it's part 2. So it's part 2. It's chapter 12. And it's statistics. And it's read, interpret, and draw calculations from statistical diagrams. But you will find it on page 659, and that's example 20 will help you. Okay, go to your textbook. If you struggle, otherwise try it and continue with the video and see if you are correct. Okay, in a study, some people were asked which kind of music they like. The pie chart shows the result: rock, country, hip-hop. 200 people love hip-hop. So this is in amount, 200. Calculate the number of people who loves rock. It's just working on direct proportion. Okay, so it's in chapter 1, in the beginning of the book. So I just say 200 people, okay? And that's how many degrees, 150. And then I look at the rock is 120, and I just make it x. And how does direct proportion? I cross multiply. So I get 150x equals 200 multiply 120. And then I divide 150 and I divide 150. And my final answer is 160. And that's a nice question to enter question paper with. So let's just go to the exam report and see what they say on the final question. Okay, so fairly answered. Common wrong methods were applied, thus leading to no marks being awarded. Common answers was this. Many candidates got for wrong and made a score of 0 marks. But it was 160. And if you did that in between, I maybe can just go back and just show you where the marks. So if they saw this calculation, and then for the final one. Okay, we will continue with in the next video with paper 2 of ordinary level 2023. All these videos refer to the y equals mx plus c textbooks, the #1 mathematics textbook used in Namibian schools. For more information on these textbooks, visit the Straight Line Publishing website. All y equals mx plus c to success textbooks are available in the NEED catalogue of the Ministry of Education. Schools can order these using their yearly budget for textbooks, with the process typically starting mid-year. Make sure your learners have a copy of the y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook used by the top schools in Namibia in front of them in 2025. A final point. If you are in the position, I want to encourage you to buy your own personal copy of the y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook. These textbooks are available at the following bookshops. Remember, success in mathematics comes from hard work, perseverance, and the courage to face challenges head on. Good luck with your final 2024 examination.